right, welcome back to Stitch Files. I'm your co-host, Brandon.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Bob.
And joining us, Miss Vickie Long.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite people in my top. You're in my top 100.
Oh,
Favorite people.
Oh my gosh, the soundboard.
I love it.
How come the music didn't start at the beginning?
You're so... Shut up.
I don't think I've ever had a standing ovation. So
No, you did. I put that on there today just for you.
Oh,
I did
so
right over there in that corner where I'm allowed to move.
Yeah, you should see what he puts in it for me and Sarah. He can't.
Yeah, I'll plan for you later.
Yeah, he'll play later.
All right, so Vickie, she's joining us from... You're in Greensboro, right?
I am.
Okay, North Carolina, for everybody listening across the pond. And
Mexico.
yeah, it's not across the pond.
No.
Down south,
Down
wherever you're
south.
at. So we decided to get... would you consider yourself a small embroidery company? A small embroidery company?
Very small.
Okay.
It's me and one part-time employee.
Okay.
Real small.
Yeah, so that, I mean, we have a lot of people just getting into embroidery, and we'll kind of go through these questions, and maybe you can help eliminate people's problems.
I'll try.
Or cause more problems for people.
Maybe cause, but I will try to eliminate. Or help.
Hopefully not. But first off, we want to say that when this podcast comes out, the Charlotte show will be this weekend.
Yes,
That
Friday and
is-
Saturday.
Why can't I remember the dates?
I don't know.
It's the 29th and 30th.
Read them.
Yes, 29th and
That
30th.
I know. I
Okay.
don't know a lot, but I do know those dates.
Halloween is what?
The 30th.
First.
Is it?
31.
It's on Sunday?
This year it is?
Is it?
I don't know. That's why I asked
It
the
is.
question.
Okay. Well, you should know. You got your kids.
Yeah, I'm usually in Ohio. But
Oh,
I'm not.
I had a point. I had something I was going to say, and I can't remember what I was going to say.
That's okay.
Oh, we did say we're going to podcast.
Yes, we are.
At the Charlotte show.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And John,
you're going to be there.
I'll be there.
you can hang out for the
Okay.
second round because
Sure.
John Coon's going to be
Coon's
on
gonna
there.
Good. I'd like to meet him.
John's a good
Scott's
guy.
going to be there. Scott does not want to be on the podcast.
I think Lease Boy
Lisa Boy will be there.
will be there.
I just talked to him yesterday. He's coming.
Sean Evans. You remember
Oh,
Sean?
yeah.
You know
Of
Sean.
course. Yeah. Great.
That's the thing about this
Old
industry.
days.
You can't get away from people.
We're
It's
recycled.
like you keep,
Very recycled.
You're just like a Krispy Kreme donut. Throw that sucker in a microwave. After 2-3 weeks,
Still good?
it's still good. Get it all. No, it kills the germs. It kills that green fungus.
That's
What's that called?
disgusting.
Really great.
No, it will.
Mold.
Whatever. Your mold is my fungus.
That's how penicillin is born, right? Krispy Kreme. All right, so please come to the show. Come say hi. We are booth number
100.
100. That's
know.
right.
Yeah.
You didn't know that? I didn't either. That's why I asked her.
Right up
I
front.
just show up.
Yeah, so there will be a tech talk with John. We're still talking about the details, so
Yeah.
specifics of it, which we're going to figure out before day's end, just because I got to let John know. But they'll be hanging out, so come by, say hello, and see wonderful machines embroider, because, yeah, it's going to be awesome. We'll have XL2, Pro 3, and then us.
Well, and there's nothing else you need, I would think. I would say.
And I guess once you figure out the details, we can put that on social media
Yes.
if people want to
Stay
figure
tuned.
out when to come to see John, to talk to him or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
he's going to be hanging out pretty much at the booth all day, so we're just figuring out if we're going to do specific times or however. Okay, that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk to Vickie. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
on to the business.
Yeah, so we have a list of questions.
Dear.
But first off, let's just introduce yourself. Tell the people about your
What they
background.
want to know.
Tell them how
Yeah.
it started.
Okay.
Your mom and dad went for a milkshake.
That's right.
Well, they weren't
Actually,
your
I
mom
think
and
it
dad.
was after a Christmas party. No. Anyway,
Is there alcohol involved?
I'll make a very, very long story short.
Don't go back that far.
No, I'm not going to go back that far. But I'll make a very long story short. When I was in college at UNCG,
Heard of it?
Yeah, I needed an internship, and the local soccer team, Carolina Dynamo, was owned by Neil McPherson, who owned McPherson Meistergram. Anyway, I did an internship with them, and at one of the games, I met the marketing director, and she asked me if I needed a job, and I said, yes, please. And so I finished my internship in the marketing department, and the day after I graduated, I started full-time with what was then McPherson Meistergram. So that's how I got started.
Do you know that I still have a McPherson Meistergram soccer jersey?
Oh my goodness.
The red one.
Yeah.
The Dynamo jersey.
Yeah.
I still have one.
Yeah, I used to go out on the field with that. It was fun.
Yeah.
I was kind of the gopher, but it was
Matter
fun.
of fact,
It was,
I will dig that up. I'm
You
gonna
should
wear
wear
it.
you should
On the
wear
next
it. Oh my
episode.
goodness.
You can't fit in that jersey.
I can't fit. I can barely fit in this shirt. No, but hey, you ever seen a can of biscuits?
I have.
When you open them,
Pop can.
Those things
gonna
scare me
be-
to death
yeah.
when you have to hit it with a spoon.
I'll cram my body into that jersey like a can of biscuits.
You're going to wear it. I don't care how tight it is.
I don't care either.
I want to
Alright.
see it. I want to see it.
You don't.
After the show.
Be the last thing you see 'cause you'll go blind.
So anyway, so then I did trade shows with Bob at
Yep.
McPherson Meistergram for quite a few years. And then when the company was sold, I went with the software division and I trained and whatever they wanted me to do, technical support. And we did lots of trade shows then too. So I did that with the software company CompuCon.
Yep.
And then started my own business. And I'll make another really long story short. Did work for a local company, was bought out. I was bought out, went to work for another company. Then it's very confusing.
It is
I'm even
confusing.
confused. I think I've lost myself. No, anyway, before I started this business, I was at Exclusively Weddings for almost 9 years. And then they closed. And so the contracts that I brought in, that I had brought in the last several years, I asked them if they would go with me if I started my business again. And they said yes. And here we are, 5.5 years later.
Nice.
So you have been in embroidery.
Please
Since you
tell
got out of
everyone
school.
how long.
Right, since you got
Yes,
out of college.
a very long time.
Wow.
Wow.
That is very
Maybe-
impressive.
Maybe longer
is,
than I'd like to admit. But yeah, no, I haven't ever actually left the industry at all.
Yeah.
Did I? No.
Well, I didn't either. Well, once you, get
just-
in it, you can't.
get
You
away.
can't get
You're
away. It's
stuck.
like,
So
yeah.
you just know that you're going to be recycled somehow through the industry. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it is fun. I know why you love it.
Yeah, I do, and I've said this a million times on this podcast. It gets in your blood.
It
It's a lot
does.
of fun. The people in it are really good for the most part. There's a few that aren't. I was not.
I thought you was about to drop some hot tang on this podcast.
No hot tank for me today.
Vicki was telling us before the podcast started about hot tang. Does anybody want to know about hot tang?
I wanna
It's not
know.
what you think it is.
No,
it's
it's
soft.
not.
It's a soft drink.
It's a powdered drink.
It's a powdered soft drink.
It's powder that you put up
with
your
water.
Yeah, you put in your cup. Put water on it.
Let's leave that alone.
How are drinks made? Yeah.
How
Anyway,
many times do you stir?
Well,
thanks for coming, Vicki.
See you later.
You're thinking about hot tang.
I got a hot tang on my mind. Sarah, ask what do you want to ask Vicki?
do you
I know you talked to customers and they've sent you questions and things. So what do you keep hearing from customers? What do they want to know?
So what I want to know, I guess, and what people have kind of alluded to is, when do you know that you're ready to start your own business? Like, when did you know that you're ready to branch off and get your own machine and go?
Well, my situation was a little different in that the company that I worked for was closing. But I brought in 2 fairly significant contracts or customers when I was there. And that was more to offset, because it was a wedding supply company and wedding gifts and things. We were, very seasonal. And so embroidery usually picks up fourth quarter quite a bit. So the business that we brought in was kind of to offset our slow season. So that worked out really well. But I just sort of sat down and did the pros and cons, literally the list of, do I want to go work for another company, or do I want to do what I'm good at and do what I know I can do? I managed several, at one point we had 3 shifts and I had several departments. So we had engraving, embroidery, and hot stamping, and we had printing, but I wasn't in charge of that. So I knew the production side of it was easy for me. That was kind of a no-brainer for me. I can manage workflow. That's easy. Just how well do you work for yourself? That's the question you kind of need to ask. How committed are you? Will you get up every day?
Yeah.
Is it in your house? That can be a challenge. People think that's great. That can actually be really hard. How motivated are you? Do you have business? Do you have to go get business? Do you, in my situation, I already had business. That doesn't mean you don't always want more and that you're not always looking for more. And then you just kind of need to sit down and decide, will it just be you? Are you the one running the machines? Do you have help? Can you find help? Kind of all of those things. And it's, I think it's just a personal choice. Do you want to work for someone else or do you want to work for yourself? Mm-hmm. And, for me, it was, well, I've done it before and I can do it again. And I had the business kind of sitting there waiting for me. And I didn't want to leave those people kind of in the lurch either. They didn't have anybody else to do their work. Mm-hmm. So that was the answer for me. How do you know?
How do you know anything?
I don't know.
It's just like a gamble, really.
I think, a lot of people think working for yourself is so great, and it is in some ways, and some days are not great. Some days I would give anything to be in an office with other people, have other people to talk to, go to lunch, this, that, and have somebody to tell me what to do.
We do none of those things.
Right, I know.
I want a job there too.
Yeah, I know.
Are you hiring?
Absolutely. You're already trained. But I think, the flip side of working for someone and having to go in 9 to 5, whatever your schedule is, 8. In my case, it was 7 to 4 every day. Is that if I want to leave at 1 o'clock, I can. Now, mind you, the work will still be there tomorrow, and I'm the only one to do it. So, you can't be sick. There's no vacation. Not really, but so those are the things you have to look at, or those are the difficulties. And everyone thinks it's so great, but you are the CEO, you are the janitor, you are the technician, you are the operator. You're everything.
Kind of sounds like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you were thinking about getting into it, doing it yourself, was there a point in your mind you're like, you know what, heck with it, I'm just going to go get a job?
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
Maybe at Waffle House or something.
Sure. Every day.
I hear you make a mean waffle with a tang. So
only if you have a birthday. Yes. Yes. And still some days I think I would really like to just put these in the parking lot and go get a job. But then again, everyone has a bad day and you have a really good day. I feel like when I get to the point where I'm a half a bad day from walking out, I'm still good. Yeah. When I get to that point, we're done. But I love it. I really do. I mean, some days are really difficult. Physically, it can be a little challenging too, but it keeps me from being 300 pounds. So, but you really do have to do it all. I think the one thing that I would say is be careful that you don't try to do everything, because you can't be good at everything.
Right.
You can be good. You can't be great at everything. You don't. Well, I know Bob can, and he is
the exception.
Yeah. But, for instance, digitizing. Okay, I can do it. I'm pretty good at it, but I don't have time for it.
Exactly.
So there are lots of people that are really good at it and charge, and that's why they get paid to do what they do. Mm-hmm. I can fix the machine, but it takes me 10 times longer than a technician. I can do it, but I don't really have the time to do it. So those kinds of things you have to keep in mind, that, I do what I'm good at. I do what I know I can do, and that keeps me running. Basically, it keeps the business going. So you just have to kind of put all those things together. And, for instance, I have an accountant right next door. It's fabulous. I don't do any accounting whatsoever unless it's an invoice. That's it. I'm not good at it. I don't have time for it. So
just pass it down the line.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
time management.
Right. And I look at the things that, it's really all about money, isn't it? So what makes me money? Well, if they're not running, they're not making me any money.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And what sort of products do you offer?
So I wouldn't really say it's a contract necessarily, but I do work for a company in Greensboro that manufactures dog collars. Mm-hmm. They do dye sublimation on dog collars, and I embroider those for them daily. So if you go online and order one that's embroidered, it comes to me. And then I do that's about half my business. The other half is contract embroidery, and I have stuck mostly to contract embroidery just simply because of time. So it's easier for somebody to just say, here's 50 shirts, can you put this on it, than me to go out to somebody, hey, do you want 50 shirts? Then you go through all the, everybody pick, then I have to receive it, and then I have to it's complicated and it's time consuming. So I can embroider anything, as you guys know. If it'll go on the machine, we can do it, right? Mm-hmm. But I can do a dog collar in my sleep, literally. But that's mostly what I do. A lot of hats, a lot of shirts, a lot of dog collars.
Do you like dogs?
I do. I have 3.
That's a side question.
You should show me your dogs after this. We can talk dogs.
I have 3 labs. I'm sure there's some hair on me at some
Me too. Me too.
Always. Wear black.
Always.
People that don't have pets.
They don't get it, do they?
I don't either.
You don't have pets?
Yeah.
Oh, I was
3
going to say,
dogs.
he doesn't get, you do? Oh, so you're nuts too.
Oh yeah, love them.
Three's-
Love them more than my
Everyone
entire
always
family.
everyone always
Absolutely.
says, well, what's one more? I'm like, one more.
Yeah,
I
it's one
had
more.
2. It's one more.
It's one more
It's
thing
still
that can
one
love
more.
you.
That's
How
right.
can you not have enough love?
But it's, yeah.
I didn't have it growing up, so
We weren't
get
pet,
dogs.
we weren't pet
I
people.
saw that look.
We decided to have kids instead of pets. And if I had to do over again, I think we would have just had pets.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they
Then you
live
wouldn't have
anywhere.
me.
There's no college. They don't talk back.
Right.
Yeah.
Unconditional love.
Yeah.
So was that like, did the dog collar thing, was that kind of fall into your lap, or was that something you wanted to do?
It actually, someone that I used to know, that I used to work for, knows the owners of the company, and he was looking. They moved. It's another really long story. I have a lot of those, but they had a third owner in the company, and so they merged. Basically, the company that I do the work for was their subsidiary was their largest customer, so they bought them.
Okay.
And they moved them to Greensboro. And when they did that, of course, they didn't have the embroiderer here. So they were looking for someone. So they asked me, and I jumped on it immediately and did everything I could to get that work, and tested and tested and tested and tested. And you think it'd be really simple. No, it's not. It's really not. So we perfected it, and they look 10 times. I'm not just tooting a horn here, but they really did look 10 times better than the people that were doing it.
Toot, toot.
Toot, toot. But they look really good. But the biggest part of that was keeping that customer happy. And the hardest part, I'll just throw this in here, the hardest part of my business, and I'm very used to this because in my previous life at Exclusively Weddings, everything was event driven. Everything was based on a date. And so everything was rush. Got to get it done in 5 days. Got to get it in 3 days. And then embroidery, people don't want to wait 6 months for a hat or a shirt or whatever. So everything is date driven, and it can be challenging. But the same thing with the dog collars. They're subbing it to me, so they're waiting for me to get it out to their customers. So the faster they get it back, the faster the better their reviews are, and the better their business is, and the better mine is. So, the biggest part of that to me is making sure they're very, very happy. And every customer is number one. Every customer.
Did you hear that, people?
They're number one. No, but really and truly, keeping them happy keeps my business afloat. So
Yeah.
otherwise, they wouldn't have any trouble finding anybody else. I'm going to make sure that they don't.
Right.
Have you ever had a dog call you up and say, you could have
Absolutely.
done a little better on
Yeah.
this lettering right here. The R's too close to the C, or
It was a Chihuahua.
yeah.
Of course
Oh,
it was.
yeah.
And
Of course it was.
That's not even a dog. That's a
No.
half cat.
I love a dog, but no.
Yeah.
The R is too close to the C.
Any dog that eats Taco Bell, you can't get behind him.
Frito bendito.
If they can make tacos,
Yeah.
they're good in my book. If I were to get a dog, it'd be a Chihuahua because they can make tacos. How can you not like that?
I can't.
He never made a taco.
I
But you don't-
fostered a Chihuahua.
Did you get
And-
tacos?
No, it was the
You
meanest
probably
dog
made
I
it
have
mad.
ever met in
You
my
probably
entire life.
said
It bit
something
me
to
4
it.
times.
You probably said something to it.
My 70-pound labs were terrified of that 8-pound dog.
They're just
Small dogs are
100%
scary.
attitude. It's like they have to
Oh,
make
it
up
was-
for their
he was
tiny stature.
so mean.
They're so
But
quick, too.
Oh, yeah, no, he was
They will
amazing.
turn.
But the funny thing was, I got him because the previous foster said, I can't get it out of the crate. And I said, he's 8 pounds. What do you mean
A
you can't get him out of the
Chihuahua?
crate? Yeah. I said, you
I didn't
can't.
think they got that big.
Oh, yeah.
8 pounds?
That's
not that big.
It's like
Okay.
this. It was nothing. It was like a pack of tacos, like a 6-pack of tacos. So,
See?
so I went and picked him up and took him home. And sure enough, went to open the crate in the morning, growling at me. And I was like, "Psh, whatever. I just tipped it over. He had no choice. I mean, I didn't
fell
like
out.
throw him out or anything. Yeah, he fell out. And then
I threw a rattlesnake in the cage. and I
Never
said,
did
well,
it
it's
again.
Either get bit.
Dumped him out on the floor.
Just,
Yeah.
I just
No wonder
gently
he's mad at you.
lifted it over. Yeah, he never did it again. But he was mean.
You have to show them you are the alpha.
I am not the alpha in my house, but to that one I was.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
The other ones know they rule my home. That's okay.
My dog too.
You fix me a
anything
good
she
burrito,
wants.
I'll do about anything.
Yeah, we know.
You can be the boss if you fix a good burrito.
Burrito. Yep.
I had a point here, but
You haven't had any points
it's
today.
Gone. It's gone.
I had a question. Do we want to say where you could like order these?
Sure.
Or no?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you also we didn't say your business name either.
Yeah,
have
yeah,
we?
she
Did
did.
we?
Southern Threads.
Southern Threads.
She said her business name, y'all. Go
Southern
ahead.
Threads.
Yeah.
No, if anyone would like to order a fantastic collar, great quality, it's hotdogcollars.com. And the company that
Hot dog
manufactures them in Greensboro, let me give them a little shout out too.
Shout 'em
The
out.
company that manufactures them in Greensboro is Yellow Dog Design.
Oh,
But their
okay.
website, their company
them?
I do.
for that I do their embroidery for is Hot Dog Collars, because that was the company that they sort of brought in.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, they have all kinds of stuff, but you really want the embroidered collars. They're beautiful.
Of course.
I think I'll be ordering 3.
Okay, let me know.
I'll
deliver.
Can you do them for people too? Like if I wanted my name on one,
Absolutely. I'll get you the one with the spikes on it.
or if
We don't
lost-
need to know about your Saturday and Sunday.
If lost, please call. I'll put my wife's cell phone number on there.
Yeah, we'll do it. But I'm going to get you ones with the spikes on the
That'd be cool.
edges. And,
That'd be
or one that, should we get you the one that lights up at night?
No.
So if you get lost at night?
Yes.
I
You
don't
should.
go out after dark.
Okay.
Not I don't go out after dark. 8:30.
But you could find the refrigerator easier if your collar was lit up.
How much percentage is dog collars, and how much is everything else?
I
Would you say?
And it's kind of seasonal as well. I mean, it's pretty consistent until fourth quarter, and then it just explodes. Hopefully, let's everyone order dog collars. No, from Thanksgiving to Christmas, I don't see the light of day. But I would say that dog collars is probably about 40 to 50%.
Oh, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a lot. Their business has changed a lot over the last couple of years, so it was quite a bit more. But we're kind of getting back. We're kind of moving back up. So that's
The question I had for you is this: you're doing more contract work, you said.
yes,
Now, and you have how many single heads?
5.
You have 5. Normally, single heads aren't the machine you want for contract work. Traditionally, it's usually a lot of heads, a lot of pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So, without giving away a lot of stuff, can you explain that?
Well,
Because I always tell people that they can't make money doing contract work, and for the most part, you're with single heads.
yeah,
Now, but
No, you'll work hard.
you have 5 machines.
I do. And you have no choice with dog collars because every single one is different. So you
Right.
need a single head
Yeah,
for
you can't- yeah.
personalization. So that's the other thing when
But
you're
couldn't
talking
you do a lot
about,
of rovers?
Yeah, I mean, I could put fake numbers on them.
We could
Why
sell you
not?
like a multi-head.
1-800 call mom.
Yeah.
People are kind of funny about wanting their own number on them, though.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
when
it's
you
a nice
think about
collar.
it.
Owned, they're real proud of their dogs' names. You get some really ugly ones that I wish I could turn away and say no.
Ugly dog names?
Like mean dog names that I think I've always wondered, can I just say no to this? Because I don't want to do this. It makes me
This
angry,
is
but-
fascinating.
yeah, no, I won't. When this shuts off, I'll
a fan- it's a
but
family-
not
yes.
on here.
It's a family show. We have a bunch.
that's right.
We have 2 listeners that are nuns, and they wouldn't appreciate that.
Two, just two.
Just 2.
I think I turned them off a hot tang, though.
They might have already clicked
we were
off.
liking it pretty good till he brought up that hot tang.
And then tacos. No.
What kind of nun was that? Scottish?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Let's get back on the
Where
rails.
were we? Okay. So
Contract
that-
work. Single head machine.
Yeah.
Yes. So that would be another thing kind of on that point when you're trying to figure out, are you ready for your business? What are you doing? So if you're doing personalization, are you going to sell on Amazon? Don't. It's a nightmare. Are you going to sell on Etsy? It's also a nightmare. If you're going to do all of
There
those
went
things,
my Amazon and Etsy stock right there.
well, it's just a customer service nightmare. It truly is. It's a lot of work. So just a hint, if you're going to do that, hire someone because you're going to need help. Ask me how I know. So that's the first thing you need to figure out. What are you doing? If you already have the business, then you should already know what you need. So if you're doing a lot of contract work, yes, a multi-head makes sense because you're doing 100 of the same thing. But with my business, it started really with all personalization. So it made sense. And then the contract work that I had, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I only took enough that I knew that I could handle comfortably and with help. I had part-time help. So I know my limits. And that's another thing is you get to the point where, well, I either have to expand and I have to hire someone or I just need to hold off. Well, everybody wants to make
You
more
messed up my
money.
question. I had to,
Sorry. Well, everybody of course, the goal of this is to make money and to make more every year. But at some point, you have to decide, am I going to be a millionaire or do I want to have a life? Really millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. But, for me, it was, I can either expand, hire someone or 2 and go find go find more and go knocking on doors. But when you're doing it all yourself, it's really hard to go knocking on doors.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that catch-22. So anyway, that's my.
But
whatever.
I guess, and if you don't want to answer this, you don't have to. But you get a flat rate for each one.
I do.
Okay.
Well, for each collar, yes.
Yeah.
We set that up a long time ago.
Okay.
And actually, that hasn't really changed in, I've been doing them for about almost 8 years. I think 5.5 on my own. That hasn't changed, but supply costs haven't yet, knock on wood, haven't really gone up.
Oh, you ain't seen
I
nothing
know,
yet.
I know it's probably all going to change. But I have negotiated rates with the people that I do contract work for. So yeah, that's pretty much.
But you're kind of doing more of a personalization thing. I know it's contract work.
It is.
Because
it is on a smaller level. Yeah,
because I know when Kim and I had our business, the personalization paid really well because it's a flat rate what we charge to do a monogram or a name, and that never changed. Where if you're doing garments, that's a cutthroat business.
It is.
With some folks, because they look at, I'm getting it for 19, 20 cents a thousand, and this guy may have 5 or 6, 12 heads, and he can sew, for that, or 25 cents a thousand or whatever. I mean, it's ridiculous what they're getting for some of this stuff. But
Painful.
But they're only going to take like 1,000 pieces too.
Right.
So when the orders get smaller, obviously the price goes up.
Right.
But I think you're in a niche.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me?
Because I figured you was going to say a smart enough
It's
remark.
very French.
Market though, it's more like personalization than it is. I know it's contract work because you get paid by the piece, but still yet. I always stress with people when they buy a single, or they're talking to us and they say, I want to get a single head machine. And I always tell them, well, what are you going to do? Because you know this as well as I do. When you buy a single head machine and you're starting out, you have to buy the garment and mark the garment up. Because if somebody just brings you a bunch of stuff to embroider, you're not going to stay in business very long.
Work yourself to death and not
just
making
can't.
money. Yeah.
So I just wanted to make it all that clear for people listening that, yes, you are contracting, but you are getting a set rate. It's almost like a bunch of personalization.
Right. I guess when I say contract work, it's that I'm not supplying the apparel.
Yeah,
I am literally only doing embroidery.
And it is, but it's a completely different situation. You're not doing logos on this stuff much, right?
Well, on the work that I do so it's the company that I rent my space from, and I do most of her work, most of their work, and it's an ad specialty company. So she also has, that company also has stores for particular companies.
Mm-hmm.
So like an employee store. So if you're an employee of one of these companies, you go on and buy your apparel, it comes through her. So every week you have orders, but it might be 1 shirt, 5 shirts,
Right.
10 shirts. So for me, it makes no sense to have more than single heads at this point, truly, because though at times I get, 150, I mean, I'm working on a 300 piece cap order. Well, I'll just load up all 5 machines. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
No problem. But that's not the norm necessarily. So mine is smaller orders, but volume of those orders because they're every week, 3 times a week, actually, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the same order. So I load it in the machine once, we're good.
But then again, too, nobody wants to do one piece.
No.
If your client there, she could shop that all over town, and she's not going to get somebody just to do one piece, one logo.
We are a really good fit for that reason.
Right.
But there are times when I think, well, I just really didn't make very much money on that. When I did, if it's a new order and I've just done one piece or a sew out, I'm not making anything. But it evens out. It really does. One might be a higher stitch count, the next one is a lower stitch count, but I'm getting volume every week of the same thing. So it evens out.
So is the 5 machines, is that a good amount or quantity of machines?
10, but I can only run so many. Yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, with you, and you said you had one part-timer. You have a part-timer, right?
Yeah.
There's only so many machines one person can keep up with, because if the more you have, if they're 2 or 3 will be sitting there and not doing anything, so you have to keep them fed.
And depending on what you're running, if you're running a 10-minute logo, sure, it's a lot easier to keep up. I mean, you're hopping. Trust me, I don't stop moving. But if you're running a 2-minute run, 3-minute run, no, it's kind of hard. So what I try to do when I'm doing that is I try to put the short runs on 2 machines and load the longer ones on other machines so I can keep up.
Yeah.
I just personally, I can't stand for one not to run. It just drives me bananas. So that's just me. I'm super picky.
We should have started these up and run them then.
You should have.
Just for you should have
Kept me
told us
busy.
because they're not.
Yeah,
they're just sitting here.
so many heads just sitting and looking at us.
And I have an engraving machine too. So
When
sometimes
did you
I'm
get
running
that? Did you just get that?
a year and a half ago. Mackenzie
When's the
did.
last time I
Mackenzie.
was? I probably hadn't been in your shop at that
No,
long.
it's
has it?
kind of over in the corner too. You probably didn't
Are you?
see
Do
it.
you use it?
Yeah. Well, not right now because just like everyone else on the planet, we can't get anything. So we have no product. It's
Really?
probably all sitting on a boat.
I hadn't heard about that.
I was going to ask you about that too.
Yeah,
if that
I
affected
you
you.
haven't heard anything. You haven't heard anything about that? Yeah.
No, I haven't. Something about a boat.
Yes.
Never heard of the boat.
Containers or something going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
This boat, ship,
Slow
submarine,
boat.
whatever. We keep hearing about it.
Yeah.
But we've never really seen it. It may not even exist.
Never.
That's
get
But
because
there's
there's-
supposed to be a lot of stuff
Never
on it.
getting here.
They're
There's not
telling
just
us-
one, there's
they're telling us there are
hundreds.
embroidery machines on there. Oh, it's a mess.
Telling me
It
there's
it is
some-
a mess.
Well,
It's a thread too. I don't know.
we just heard on the news, like, they're just now talking about it like it's an issue. It's like, this has
been
been
going on for us
going
all year.
on.
No,
Yeah.
it's been
Now
a
it's
problem.
like-
yeah. It's going
Top-
to continue to be a problem
Yeah.
for a very long time.
Well,
Yeah, it won't work itself out, as you know.
No.
Not going to happen overnight.
No, it's
How has that affected your business?
Well, just
As of
trying,
yet.
just trying to get products. So we've had a lot of orders that have been delayed, and that puts a crunch on me because customers want their stuff. So the first thing that I did is I told the people that I do the work for, start now, please, for Christmas. Don't wait.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, I mean, and it doesn't matter how many times you tell these people,
Yeah.
they're still going to wait until December
Yeah.
15th. But please start now and explain to them. They know they're not living under a rock. All these people know that we can't get this stuff. So we actually have started Christmas orders and we're trying to get it. But what happens is, for instance, these store orders, well, they have a standard set of apparel that they use. Well, you go in and it's not in stock. And so then my orders are delayed because they're spending a day trying to find a shirt to replace that one. And then
Yeah.
that one's not there. And then that size is, so it gets very complicated. I'm seeing product I've never seen before because they're having to find replacements.
Yeah.
Orders that were placed in August, I'm just now getting the apparel for, the caps or whatever it may be. I'm hoping it won't affect dog collars and parts and things. They're manufactured here, but of course their parts are shipped
Right.
from all over the world.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that won't happen because that will put everybody out. I mean, that will be a huge problem. So they're very proactive, and I'm confident that they're in control of all of that. But that's part of there is no control. You
Yeah.
have no control over
No.
any of this right now, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, and customers don't understand it
No,
either.
they
I
don't.
spent all morning tracking down machines for customers, and it's hard for. I can track the boat when it leaves port, and I know when it gets to wherever it's going in the States, and they'll tell me that the container's been unloaded. Okay, but where is it? Well, it's unloaded, and then it gets on a train. And when it gets on the train, from when it gets on the train on the West Coast and comes to the East Coast, all you know is it's on a train. and it is extremely frustrating because I like to let customers know. But honestly, it's hard to get information right now. And it's scary because I don't know that they know where this stuff is.
I'm sure
They're overwhelmed with so many containers and so much stuff that it's and they got millions of people asking for it, and they're pulling their hair out. I mean, it's just a really tough time right now.
Just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it'll get to the port and it'll sit there for 2 weeks because they say, well, we can't find a truck, can't find a driver, and it's. I had something. There's a big customer in Chicago. I just got back from Chicago yesterday. Went to see one of our big accounts up there, and they bought a container of single head machines, and we had them drop shipped to them, and I tracked it all the way till it got to the rail yard in Chicago, and it sat there for a week, and they were literally 30 minutes from the rail yard, and they could not find a driver to take it over there. And thank goodness that the customer was very understanding, but he was getting frustrated.
That's very frustrating.
And I finally emailed the girl that does our logistics and said, can you please help me? Can you find somebody to take that one container over to our customer? And it took her like 2 days to find someone to do it. And I wasn't yelling at her, blaming her, but it's like, it's crazy.
It is crazy, and that's frustrating knowing it's that close to you and you
Yeah.
can't get it. Just
You could
out of-
walk
just
to
out
it
of reach.
and
Yeah.
just can't get it.
Yeah, just
Like-
out of reach.
I mean, they were with traffic in Chicago. They were 30 minutes away. What does that tell you? They were probably 500 yards.
Right. Exactly.
And it's
500
you know,
yards
we-
and 500 bullets.
Zigzag, running a zigzag.
Serpentine.
I mean, we want to give our customers as much info as we can, but it's really hard to get information
It
right now.
is. It is, and the same with, you know, I mean, I have my own customers that I provide, you know, full service for. You know, well, let's be careful how we say full service.
That's a different podcast.
Apparel.
That podcast starts at 6.
The
After
whole
more
thing.
hot tang water.
Yeah. But, you know, I do have my own customers. I actually have found a few along the way. And, you know, I have one right now that's been asking me for caps. And every cap, he said, well, I have this cap and I love it. And I look at the style and I'm like,
Nope.
Can't get
sorry,
it.
they're out of stock. So let me find you a replacement. Oh, okay, we get that. Oh, I didn't really like those. Well, that's kind of all you're going to get. You know,
Yeah.
you wanted this black visor with this particular, you know, whatever in the back. I just lost my brain for a second. But that's what you get. I mean, you know, you have a choice of 2, not a choice of 20 anymore.
Yeah.
And people like choices.
They do, and they don't understand that, and it's not their fault because
Yeah.
they're used to being handed a catalog. Here, pick whatever, you know, whatever you want, it's in here, and it's just not like that. So then, for someone like me, I spend 4 hours looking for 100 visors, you know, and I might find 20 here and 20 in another warehouse and 30 over. You know, it's very time consuming. So for someone small like me, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big challenge. So I've actually sort of steered away of business like that right now because it's just impossible.
Yeah.
I don't have the reach that other people have. I don't have the buying power that a lot of other people have.
Yeah, you're
So-
fighting with everybody else
Oh,
trying to
no,
get this
yeah.
inventory. I mean,
Yeah. And forget a Richardson cap. Just
never
forget
heard
it.
of them.
Yeah.
Forget
No,
it.
it's yeah.
Those took 3 months to get in. Put it back on.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
not. It's not.
remember.
It's not. You're gonna steal it.
Somebody gave me a number of how many hundreds of thousands they're back ordered on, and I'm not even going to say it because I'll be wrong. But it was like it's really hard to believe.
Oh, I know.
It's very bad.
Yeah,
Very bad.
but it's
that will
it's-
be going on for years.
I fear.
You think?
I mean, when it takes 3 months to get 144 caps, I can't imagine when you're a company that's running hundreds of thousands of them, you're going to be backed up forever because they are the ones getting them now, not me,
Right,
not the
right.
little guy. There's the, you know, they're
Well,
getting them.
and Richardson's has embroidery machines. They have our machines. So, and I don't blame them for doing this. I mean, if I were them, I would do the same thing. But they're doing their stuff first for their customers,
Sure.
and they have
Absolutely.
to. I would do the same exact thing. I'm not,
Sure.
but the blanks, you forget it.
No, I
and
know.
there's been somebody was telling me that they were buying some knockoff Richardson caps.
There are a
from
lot of people that'll
somewhere.
make them for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they just said they were horrible. You know.
They're not great. I mean, they're not. I've seen them.
Yeah.
I was about to order some for someone, and finally we just said, maybe not.
They're
Yeah,
hard to
there's-
sew. They put so much glue in them where they fuse the buckram to the fabric.
They're
man,
not
they
great.
break needles right and left.
Yeah. And then, it just gets so complicated trying to get samples and get all of that stuff. It's just, you just find another alternative.
Yeah.
Wait, that's your alternative.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know, customers are frustrated with trying to get product and caps and everything else, but I'm like you. This is not going to be fixed in a year. I mean, they were talking first quarter of 2022, and you and I talked about this, and me and Brandon said, like, that ain't going to happen. Now they're saying, well, maybe by summer. Then I heard somebody else yesterday talking on the radio that said, yeah, we're probably looking into sometime in 2023.
Right. Because think
Because
about
how do you get caught up?
well, that's
That's
the
the
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
And the companies,
You're so backed up, and you've got additional orders coming in.
well, that's it.
It
And
is
people
a-
are ordering more
Exactly.
now. You've got apparel distributors that are ordering projections.
It's like a toilet
knowing
paper
they're not-
thing.
Yeah. I mean, their projections are 2 years out now
Yeah.
because they can't wait. They have to make those decisions. So those people, there's no way. When we get emails from them all the time, Sanmar and Alpha Broder and all these companies, they're like, yeah, pretty much. They're sorry, no
Yeah.
change.
But
they have no control.
But all of our customers seem to be doing very well.
I
mean,
know. It's great.
some product has to be trickling in, or they couldn't stay in
Well, there
business because
is-
they're buying machines.
Yeah, there is a lot of product. It's just you can't be super picky about what you want. You're just going to have to open your mind and decide that instead of this Port Authority shirt, you're going to get this. You're going to pay more and get a Nike shirt. Of course,
Yeah.
probably can't get those either. But
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what's happening, or they're having them manufactured privately rather than, pre-made things that are being shipped in, and they could be finding manufacturers here, which you'll pay a lot more for. Quality's probably good.
Yeah.
But, thank God for made in
What
USA.
a wonderful world.
Yeah, I know. Isn't
Well,
When's Doomsday?
Feels like it's coming up.
Is it next Thursday?
Let's hope not, because the show's Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe get to that.
Well, we'll do
let's
it
do that first.
Sunday. When's Halloween?
Sunday.
Okay.
I thought it was Saturday. I had no clue.
I don't know either.
I know I'm giving blood on
an
Sunday.
excuse
I got
to
talked
eat.
into giving blood.
Good
On
job.
Halloween?
On what?
On Halloween?
Yeah, I'm giving blood.
That's the best time to give blood.
9 o'clock at, 9
You can
o'clock
stand
at
out in the
night.
street and Jason will take it from you, or Freddy
Kind
Krueger.
of.
No, he sees from Transylvania.
Oh, yeah.
He said-
Is it
Travels
Dr.
around.
Acula?
Right?
Yeah.
Anybody?
No, you're not going.
No, I've got diseases. I can't give blood to people.
Oh, I got talked to my niece.
I've got the hot thing.
We need to talk about that.
Fix you.
Yeah, it would fix me. No, I backed out of that.
Kyle
I
did
can't.
too.
I don't like needles.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't,
either.
I don't like it either, but I
You've
promised
been
my niece.
tattooed so
That
many
is so
times.
different.
How
Okay.
is that different?
They're
That's
needles.
painful.
They're needles.
No.
It's just the blood coming out.
Tattoos aren't
thing.
painful. It's like a itch that you can't scratch. But a needle going like into your skin,
Oh,
I
yeah,
can
I know.
I can feel
I'm
every
a-
fiber of the metal.
I'm a big
Fiber
metal
of
baby.
the metal?
I'm telling you, if you look at a needle under a microscope, it's all these little strands. And I can feel every individual one.
Ugh.
It's horrible. See,
Never giving another shot.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That's how I feel every day. Moving on.
Yeah, let's get off that.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw
I told
up.
you we get off on tangents. Of course, you.
Yeah,
if
I don't
anybody listens
like
to
them
this, we
either.
do.
I have
Yeah.
to look away.
I do too. I can't watch.
I'll tell you what though, the guy that gave me my shot today was so smart. He put the little I didn't look, so I didn't know what he was doing, but I felt him put a Band-Aid on my arm and I thought, gosh, he did that? Did the shot even
No,
feel
he
shit?
put the Band-Aid on, then he stuck you through the Band-Aid.
Jabbed me through this Band-Aid.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't know you could do
Brilliant.
that.
He did do that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never heard of
It's
that.
Genius.
it's
Me
a
either.
trick. It is a trick. Witchcraft.
Genius.
I'll tell you what I do
The
whenever
problem is, sorry, go ahead.
I worked in healthcare for a very long time. What I would do when I had to get a flu shot, I would make them give it to me in my butt cheek, just because if I have to get tortured, you're going to get tortured looking at my butt. I'm not kidding.
It's a little payback.
It's a whole lot easier to get a tetanus shot there too, because you know
Yes.
how much that hurts.
Yeah.
Ask them in your hip.
Yeah.
It's not really your hip.
No, it's not.
Just say hip. Sounds better.
Yeah. Pro tips.
Yeah.
All right.
Remember when we were in Chicago? No, we were in, I think it was Chicago, and I jammed that wire that held the sign up, and it cut my hand wide open, and I had to go
Oh,
home
I
and get
do-
a
I
tetanus
do
shot right
remember
away,
that.
and I
I
was
do.
like terrified. I was gonna. Oh, everyone was hoping I'd end up with lockjaw, but I didn't.
Yeah,
that was the,
I do remember that.
the hazards of trade shows.
Yeah.
The
as
good
you
old
know.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you
Isn't it
didn't.
amazing that all the McPherson people that we all used to work together, there's like a dozen of you, or half a dozen of you, I guess, that have businesses.
Yeah,
Stephen Batts was here the other day.
I bought my
He and Mike
engraving
were
machine
here.
from Mackenzie.
Mackenzie. Okay. Deborah
Who?
Deborah Japp.
Yeah.
Deborah's
Still in business.
she's still in business, right?
Yeah.
Deborah.
Right down the road from me.
Yeah. There's a couple of Darren Wilson is still in the embroidery. He's in Wilmington, working
he's-
for Uni. He's working for UniFirst.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy still a tech.
Jimmy was here Monday. I hadn't seen him in forever. But I mean, most of the people that I know, friends that I have, are embroidery friends, which
Kind of.
you can't get out of that dark hole
That's
of
right.
embroidery.
You're my
except you're
friend,
in.
and you're my friend forever.
You
You're
can't leave
stuck.
me. I can't quit you.
Yeah, right.
One of my favorite movies.
You may have a medical degree, but you're not getting out of embroidery.
Well, there's a reason I left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Trust me.
Leave that alone. So you have 5 machines. What's your oldest Barudan? We're going to talk about Barudan's now. Machines.
I bought. I'm sorry, I did not buy them from you, but
I
I
know
bought
you
2
didn't.
used. Well, originally they came from you.
Somebody bought
That's
them
right.
from us.
They are 2009 single heads that I bought from a company getting rid of them in
So
Annapolis,
you had
Maryland.
these.
Yes, don't ask me.
Yeah. They would be.
Yeah, you had
Yes,
these.
but they are 2009.
You could have an X. One of them could be an X. No. They're V's. They're V's.
I swear I have to look every single time.
You-
Every single time I have to put a little
But you
plate
have
on the back and look at
you
that.
have them
Yeah.
all networked.
No.
You don't?
I do not.
I thought you did.
Nope. In the beginning, I had those two network to a computer,
I thought you. Yeah, I thought you
but
did.
then I had to move everything around, so I took that out, and it's just easier.
So are you using USB?
Yes. Well, those are CF, but yes.
Okay, then
the
they're
newer ones are all
V's.
USB.
V's are V's are USB.
Yeah, that's the only drawback. But they're great machines. They're workhorses.
Yeah.
I mean, keep them clean, keep
You
them
take
oiled.
care of them, they
People
work
keep them
forever.
clean and keep them oiled. That's
Yes.
I mean, really and
I've
truly,
said that
that's
billions.
Just say it again.
keep them clean and keep them oiled.
That's right.
They will run forever. But when I bought them, they were like brand new. I've beaten them up a little bit. You know, clamps and cap frames and things will kind of scrape them up a little bit. But I don't think when I bought them, I don't think they had 100 hours on them. I mean, they were literally brand new, and you could tell because they still had their oiling maintenance schedule taped on the back of the machine. I said, these people haven't been doing this very long.
Like, when are we
That goes
supposed to
out
do
the window. Every Monday morning. But
Oil?
yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. What's oil?
Oil.
No.
Or
do
oil.
That. Do that. Yeah.
That's the
Right.
other.
That's
What's that?
I said or
too
oil.
much. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like a splash
Yeah.
of wine.
Oh man.
Do you have a favorite machine?
Do you name your machines?
Cash and flow.
Oh snap! That sounds like a hot mixtape.
Yeah. They're my two oldest ones. And truly, I love those little girls
How you know the girls?
because they are.
You got
It's an
under the hood.
energy. It's an energy.
It's an energy.
Let's not go there.
Female energy.
Leave that one go.
I got plenty of that.
Because they're temperamental.
No.
Oh man.
Because
No.
they're hardworking.
Yes.
I'm shutting
because
my
they
mouth.
never stop. No, they're just really. I don't know why they're my favorite, but I have like a sentimental attachment to them. Even though I didn't buy them new, I bought them used. But I've said, well, maybe I should sell those and get 2 new ones to replace, or get a couple new ones. I can't. I just can't. They're long paid for. I can't get rid of them.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing,
just
man. Once
Yeah.
you get paid for.
I love them. I mean, there's no reason to get rid of them. They're
Wow,
paid
they're
for.
working great.
They're shh, my hush. Yeah, no, they're working beautifully. And I, you know, and you sort of anybody with multiple machines and I don't know, maybe even multiple heads, you have them kind of dialed in for certain things. So I put dog collar. I can put dog collars on any of them. I can put the clamps on any machine, but you know, I have the dog collars on particular machines, and they just
They like dog
larges run
collars.
better on this one. The mediums run better. I don't know. You know, it's just kind of way I have them dialed in, and they're just it just works best. And then I don't really even have to think about it. And then my help doesn't really have to think about it either. She just comes in and she knows. I mean, really and truly, if I leave her work and she comes in the evening, she already knows what's like. I don't even have to leave her a note. She's like, oh yeah, she knows where everything is. So
That's good.
Yeah. It just,
I was going to ask you too. We had a question on Instagram when I said that we were going to have a small business owner. The question was, how do you train new employees on your Barudan? And maybe you can explain how long she's been there. Maybe it's been so long that you don't train her.
okay. So let's back up. When I was at McPherson, after it was McPherson and what were we? Wilcox and Gibbs. I don't
We
even
were
remember what we
W&G.
were. We've been so many
I don't
names.
know. Yeah, we've had a bunch
I
of
don't know.
different names.
So anyway, when I was working there, before everyone split off and I went with the software side, actually my job was training new customers. It was called New Business Ventures, and people bought a single head machine software. And
I'd
they came
forgotten
in,
about that.
Yeah,
You were training.
forever ago.
Was it you and Randall?
No,
No, Randall worked for us. He worked.
yeah,
Randall
no,
worked for
it
us.
was
He went to
Ben Darling.
Ben Darling.
So
You notice that was an awkward pause after that.
I don't.
okay.
Never mind.
Moving on. So they would come in for a week, and I would train them on the software for a couple days, and then the machines for a few days. And so, really, you just start with the basics. My part-time employee, actually worked for me at Exclusively Weddings, and she was actually running a print machine, the old thermography machine, before she came over to us. So she had no idea. She'd never even seen an embroidery machine, and I'm not trying to offend monkeys, but I could train a monkey to do it. Truly, I can train anyone to run the embroidery machine. It's the specifics, if you can say that word, the specifics of everything else that's a little more difficult to train: backing, hooping, all that good stuff,
Yeah.
needles, thread, this kind of stuff. But really, you just start with the basics. Turn it on. You know, here's how and explain how the machine works. Explain the operation. How does the bobbin? How does it actually work? And it's really quite simple. Works just like a regular sewing machine. Of course, if you don't know a regular sewing machine, it doesn't do any good. which I can't use, by the way, at all. But it's really very simple. So just start with the basics, and then, you know, people get really excited about it really fast because it's so fun to watch, and they're just intrigued by it. And then confidence builds, and, oh, let me try it. You know, they want to try their first design. And so, but it would take, let's see, we would train people for 2 days on software and then 3 days on the machines. And it was from top to bottom. But by the time they walked out of there, maybe they couldn't digitize, but they could type names or something and load it in the machine and run it.
They had some skills.
That's right. They could at least open the software in most cases. So, you know, some people are technically challenged, and so that can be, I discovered I have a little more of a technical mind than I ever knew. So I love it. I would rather do that than sit behind a desk all day long. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So how do you train them? I don't know the exact answer to that, but I've done it at least 150 times, at least. And no one's hurt themselves yet. So keep your hands out of the way of the needles.
That's no needles through fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably like rule number 1.
I got my finger caught on it once, and you want to talk about panic. I had just gotten those clamps for the collars, and I to this day don't know what I did, but I was the only one in the building. And I remember thinking,
this is how I die.
I'm stuck. This is how they're going to find me. And it was a Friday. And I thought, oh my God, let's hope my husband notices I'm not home. But no, literally. And it went into my finger, and I was stuck in the machine, and I had to try to figure out how to get that.
Did you think about chewing your finger off?
Almost, yeah. My whole arm at that point. I didn't care. I just wanted it out. But yeah, but I've never done it.
Yeah, so
I don't know. Did that answer your question at all?
I think so.
Okay.
just get in there.
Well, you know,
you
now people are so lucky. Now there's YouTube, there's you guys, now there's podcasts.
We don't teach
You
anything.
can
in
look
there.
at everything now online, where we didn't have that option.
No.
It was, hey, Bob, can you come show me how to do this?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's really got to be a video for everything, I think.
Sam Smith taught me. Bless her
Yeah.
heart.
Oh, yeah. Well, I
Remember
tore
Sam?
up every machine in the building before I actually learned how to do it.
Yeah.
We were setting up for my very first bobbin show when I was an intern, and they just threw me to the wolves. Here, go set this 6-head up. And I broke it. And then they put me on the 12-head, and I broke that. And I was like, well, how many more do you want
So
me to
they
break?
didn't learn. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you and me, we had to run Meistergrams, multi-heads, single heads, and at that
the
time,
Meistergrams. Gosh,
remember
I forgot
those?
about
Remember
those.
that?
Yeah.
You knew how to run a Meistergram.
Yeah, I
didn't
did.
you?
Yeah.
But you know, we were going from Prosperity Plus to this. Remember when these automats first came out?
You just blew my
and you had the
mind.
old Prosperity Plus with what do you call those things? Style packs. The things you'll plug in.
Yeah.
There. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. And the multi-head used to have to take the hard drive off of the machine, and it was a computer with a keyboard,
Yep.
and you could actually type text in.
You could.
That was kind of the cool thing about those machines. So you could do a lot on the
We
machine.
still have people who
Yeah,
are
it was-
mad at us because we took
Yeah,
the
there's no keyboard on
Yeah,
there.
it was kind of
Like,
cool.
well, how do
It
I
was
put a
kinda
name
cool.
in there? Well, you
But
buy
nobody
software.
does it anymore.
Well, what do you mean I have to buy software? That means I have to have a computer. I'm like,
Yeah, you kind of need one.
How did you call me?
Yeah, exactly.
have you ever been down to Royal Threads in Aberdeen?
I have not.
You know who they
They
are,
I
have-
know
right?
who they are. Yeah.
They have.
I took him down there.
It's
we
like
helped,
a museum of
we helped
Barudan's.
John. We helped
Kid you not.
Roger Blackwell
Blackwell.
do a 15-head install, and he went because he'd never done an install, especially on a 15-head. So we went down there to help him do the install, and I took him around that shop. And honestly, it's like a Barudan museum.
Wow.
They
It really is.
have
Everything.
Oh, wow.
I showed him, I'm like-
they last forever.
Yeah, actually, they do. The problem now is getting electronic parts for them. Mechanically, we even have them for the stuff back in the 80s. Not everything, but there's some stuff back up there in Cleveland, I'm sure. But electronic parts, it's you can't get the parts to fix the boards, and that's
Right.
the issues. I mean, you're good on what you have, but the N series,
Right.
yeah, and even some of the Ds now are starting to have some board parts that we can't replace. And it's a shame because those machines mechanically, I run into N series all the time, everywhere, that are still running. But there's some boards on there, when they go, they're gone. And I don't know how. I mean, you can't support those machines.
can't support
Those machines are
everything
22, 23, 24 years old, right?
No, No, because I'm still 25.
Oh, well,
Yes.
but think about that. And
Yeah,
people
no,
are still
that's-
making money with
I know.
those. I don't
It's
know of
insane.
any other manufacturer, and I'll put a plug in for us because this is a Barudan podcast, but it's amazing. In my travels, I'll see somebody running it in, and they're sitting there sewing stuff on it, and the stitch looks great. That to me,
no,
that's
they really
pretty
do.
amazing.
That's the thing. I'll talk to people and they say, "Oh, my daughter has an embroidery business. Oh, what kind of machine? It's a Bernina." Okay, but when you were asking, how do you know what to start or when to start or whatever your original question may have been, actually, I'm not sure now. Do your research. Look at all of the machines. And I'm Barudan biased. Okay, I am. I came from this world.
I would have never guessed that.
I know. I came from this world. I can't leave this world.
Yeah.
I can't buy anything else. I just can't. But that is not to say that I don't think there are good machines.
Yeah,
out there.
absolutely.
Shima has a great machine
We tell people that.
all the time.
Yep.
Go look at them. Go
Yep.
talk to other business owners. Find out what their support is. That's the biggest thing for me. It didn't make any sense whatsoever to do anything else. I know my technician. I've known him for 25 years. Oh, geez, 25 years. But it didn't make any sense. But it does make sense for someone just starting to go talk to everybody.
Yep.
Call them. Go see a business. Go to Aberdeen. Go wherever. And
Yeah.
go see everybody. Go to a trade show. Talk to every single person you possibly can. That's a lot of money to spend
Yeah.
Absolutely.
on something that you may not know how to run.
Yeah.
So you better know who your technician is, because you will need them in the first year, I promise you.
Yeah.
And know what your support is. And the software support is as important as the machine support. Because you will need software regardless of whether you're digitizing or not. You'll
Right.
need software. So that's as important. And that I think sometimes can be a little more difficult, the software, truly.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it inside and out, but
The hardest thing for new people is you brought up a point a while ago, and I say this all the time. I can teach you to run this machine. 30 minutes, I can have you loading a design, setting colors, and sewing. Now, that does not make you an embroiderer. What makes you an embroiderer is understanding backings, threads, tensions, stitch types,
needles.
how to troubleshoot your machine, if it's looping, all this other stuff. That's the hard part.
And
running the machine
right.
simple. We have people come and say, "Well, man, it's got all these knobs and all this." You don't really need to worry about all those knobs. There's a function for them, but you're not on there cranking on those things all the time.
You shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But they are. Oh,
Yeah,
but
they
are.
will. They will. And there's people who tinker.
A transistor radio.
and drives me crazy. But anyway, it's somebody bringing you a garment and you knowing what type of, by looking at it. Well, you know what kind of backing it's going to take, and if they're bringing you a T-shirt and they want 30,000 stitches on it, you're like, this is going to look like crap. Yeah, I can do it for you, but
No, I
T-shirts,
can't do it for you because I'm not putting my name on that.
Exactly, because it's going to
Yeah.
pucker up like a prune.
Right.
So
Yeah. No, there's
Yeah.
that, and I think a lot of it.
they pucker up.
Yeah.
Wrinkled.
Yeah.
Wrinkled up.
I'm wrinkled, not puckered.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is just experience too, and it's trial
Yeah.
and error.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very hard to teach that, and we did teach that. Okay,
Yeah.
here, if you have a woven, this is the backing you need. If you have but you know what? That all goes out the window, because I can tell you in real life, it's about 50% true.
Yep.
What I told people. I'm really sorry, people, but it's about
I lied to you.
50% true. I mean, for instance, one thing I used to have a lot of difficulty with certain logos with wide satin stitches, especially in a circle, puckering the shirt. And I was always taught, don't hoop it tight. Don't pull it taut. Make sure it's, got a little bit of give to it. No. Pull that sucker as tight as you can possibly get it, and I promise you there won't be a pucker. But
Pull
it
that
took me a
sucker.
long time to learn that.
Should be like a snare drum.
Absolutely. But that's not how I was trained.
Right.
But things have changed, and different backings,
Well,
and a lot has changed.
That people that have been around a long time too. I'm talking embroiderers. They've been around a long time. They tend to do things a particular way.
Right.
Everybody finds a way to do something to make it work. You tinker with it. You mess with it. Now I think embroiderers have more resources than they've ever had.
Right.
Before, if you didn't have anybody to take you under their wing and show you the ropes a little bit, you kind of figured it out on your own.
Right. A little bit of ingenuity goes a long way.
Yeah. I mean,
A lot
Binder
of test
clips
sews.
and
yeah.
masking tape. And
But look.
All comes in.
When you and I started in the industry, you had tearaway backing and you had cutaway backing.
Yep.
What do you have now? If you looked at Madeira's backing,
I don't even know what to order
there's
anymore. There's so many
100
weights.
different
What does that
types
weight
of-
mean?
Yeah, a backing. And I get confused.
No, I spent a fortune not very long ago, just ordered one of everything because one piece doesn't tell me anything. I need to actually use it. I want to know what this is. So I literally ordered one of their cutaways of each. I don't really know what I ended up buying. But, I know what I like. And that's the other thing is you'll get real picky about your where you buy your supplies and thread. And I buy thread from different places, but some of the logos that came to me had Madeira thread colors. So I didn't have a choice but to buy Madeira thread. So that is, the majority of what I do simply because the logos that I run came with that. But, I buy my supplies. I'm very particular about them and I'm loyal to them, but I like certain things. Other people don't like that, certain needles. And depending on the products you're running too, that changes everything too. I run leather collars. Oof, they're a nightmare. So I have to change the needle every single time I run those.
Yep.
Start with a brand new needle. And, I've had people suggest large, 12s. No, I just do what works. Honestly, I just put a new one in there and hope it works. But
Kill that.
What was that?
That was my.
Oh, scared me. I thought it was
phone.
mine. I know I turned everything off.
Well, I didn't. But I just
The
killed them.
professional.
Just said kill that.
Kill it.
Yeah. So anyway, I think you have to be willing to kind of keep an open mind and try things new, and don't try it on that $300 leather jacket, but test things out. And I won't do leather other than the leather collars. I won't do it. I won't touch it. Certain things I'm just like, I can't afford to replace that. So I don't want to have to stand over something and stare at it for 3 hours to make sure it runs right.
Yeah.
Plus they can't afford it.
So biggest, what was your biggest challenge?
Help.
Still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of goes back to what we were talking about. People are aging out of this industry.
Yeah.
And it's,
What are you talking about?
do you need your cane to get up?
It needs to change the depends. I can smell them. Dude.
That one is a little ripe.
But, some of the people that, someone gave me the name of someone that was looking for a part-time job, and she's older than me, which is great because I'm very young.
25.
I don't mean it like that. But, the point is they're not 25. And because there just aren't enough people in it. So everybody under 20, go get an embroidery machine. It's difficult to find help. It's difficult to find people that aren't afraid of it, that are willing to just get in there and do it. And even when I worked for somebody else and I didn't have to pay for all this stuff, my theory on it was you're going to mess up. But if you learn from all of those things, then who cares? Yeah. These bags are $1, whatever. In the grand scheme of things, I'd rather you mess that up and learn from it and learn, just move forward. Just file that away.
That pile of leather jackets, that's a learning experience. If
Nothing.
you mess up a few of them,
You don't mess
$300,
up on those.
It's no big deal.
But, I think that's, when you go to work, it's different working for somebody like me or working for a larger company. And having had many, many employees and having had 3 shifts, it was very different. Those employees were afraid to make a mistake, and then they were afraid to speak up about it. And I was, believe it or not, I was never a yeller. I was always very patient. But, I had been there as well. So I understood, when you first, are you lying? But, when you're training somebody to do that, you just have to make sure that they understand it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. You're not born knowing how to do this.
Yeah.
So,
But you can tell in a few minutes if somebody's going to get it or
Absolutely.
not. It's like,
in
man, their
5
heart's
minutes.
not in it, or they're just so intimidated by it.
I'm going to tell you my test of when I would bring people in for an interview. My test was I'd go meet them at the front, and I'd walk my normal speed to the production floor. And if I turned back and they were still 10 feet behind me, we talked for 5 minutes and you were out of here. If you kept up with me, you had a shot, because this is not a slow paced business.
No.
I mean, this is a very fast paced business, and you can't just, twiddle your thumbs. So, but yes, help. And then just trying not to do everything all at one time.
Yeah.
As a small business owner, but as having worked for a larger company, help was always the biggest challenge. And this is why I'll say, even from a small business perspective, and everyone in the country everyone in the world is experiencing this right now. But because most embroidery is is event driven or date driven, people don't wait 6 months for the sweatshirts that they ordered. They want it for whatever their event is.
Right.
That person that you hired, they don't show up. Guess who's running the machines? Guess who's running that order? And, that happens over and over again. And someone has to do it. It's usually me. So that is, and probably forever will always be the biggest challenge. Not that I can't train them. They just need to show up.
Yeah. Yeah, I had it was sometime this week, somebody had hired somebody, and they came one day and then just didn't show back up. It's like...
And they don't call
no,
anymore.
That's what
They just don't show up. And I don't get it. I've never quit a job without a 2-week notice. I don't understand. That's just not a concept I understand. I'm old and old-fashioned.
Yeah.
So work ethic is just different. It's just different. And I think you have to just know that now. And that's why at this point I'm not willing to jump on a bunch more right now, because I just kind of want things to settle down a little bit and see. I kind of want to work with what I have at the moment.
But I would think, I always thought when I retired, I'd go somewhere and run an embroidery machine for somebody.
Oh, come on.
I said somebody, not dog.
You just said you're a nobody.
I would
not dog collars.
I would take your product home. You'd have a huge problem with missing products.
Leashes and
collars
and the vision, colors. The movie playing in my head. It's
no,
scary.
To me, it's most places are clean. They're climate controlled. I was in a large, gigantic. I don't want to say the name of the company, but we've all ordered stuff from them. But they have almost 200 single heads now. They have 185 single heads. Amazing. And their biggest challenge is, of course, labor. And they had 5 staffing companies that would bring them labor. And they're seasonal too.
Right.
And they're just starting to get into the busy season. But each, they do engraving. They do stuff I didn't even knew they did. Embroidery is a big part of it, but they also do
automation and
printing, all kinds of. I didn't know there was that much different kinds of printing, engraving, sandblasting, blah blah blah. But each staffing company that they were working for, they all had their color shirt that they would wear, so they would know which staffing company that they were using.
This looked like a rainbow through the factory.
He just said it's just a gigantic revolving door getting people. And it's in Chicago, and they pay really well. I was shocked at what they pay, and they still can't get people, which... And I don't know the reason why they're not getting people. Everybody's got their own opinion about that. I'm not going there because I'm just not. But, running it, $20 to run an embroidery machine, that's pretty good money.
Yeah.
It's not a strenuous job.
I'm not paying you $20.
He's also not in Chicago.
That's why I have to steal the dog collars.
Cost of living is much lower.
That's right. Exactly.
I have to steal them and sell them on the side. But I don't know. I just think it's a good industry. Of course, I think it's a good industry, but I would think that being an operator, they have health insurance and all that stuff. They have a pretty good gig going on up there. And he said, it's just people will come and they never stay. They'll go.
I know. And then you have other companies that have had employees for 20 years, before Stitchmaster closed. Those people were there for some of them 15 and 20 years.
Yeah,
they were there forever.
I'd forgotten about them closing until I was talking to Stephen and Mike here the other day. So,
Press you.
Yeah. Well, that they hadn't bought anything from us in a long time. All their stuff was a Barudan
really
museum
no.
too.
I went and looked at them. I went and looked at some of the
the
machines just because they were selling everything.
Yeah.
No, they were in really. They were just really old and had been used a lot.
So how do you think we get younger people into this? People in their 20s and 30s.
Drugs.
Hot tang
and drugs.
What kind of drugs are the kids doing?
They like peyotes, mescalines,
I don't even know what that is.
cactuses.
I've never felt so old. I think, this is kind of the way of the world right now, isn't it? Podcasts and social media, and I think, and just being exciting, and I don't know. And I think, and this is just a global problem, but I think you look at the trades, you're just not getting the people, kids are going to college kids going to college,
they're kids.
and they're getting. Yeah, I mean, they are. I was once too. And you're going to college, you're getting a degree, and I did the same thing. I went to college, I got a degree. I really didn't use it. I ended up landing in this job, and I loved it, and I was happy there. And look where I am now. So it's just kind of how it worked out for me. I'm not complaining about that at all, because I realized that I think I had wasted my degree on something I didn't really like. So in the end, it all worked out. But I think looking back, I might have considered a trade.
Yeah. I don't think that was ever presented to
Right.
me. It was like, you go to college. That's what you do.
Right.
Well,
And now I think that conversation is changing, because
And it
people
needs to.
have so much debt from college and they're not getting
Right.
the jobs that they were promised from
Yeah,
the
it was
degree. Like,
being in a redneck rural town. It was
Same
pushed to
here.
us,
Where I grew up.
but
yeah.
like, I don't think it is anymore.
No,
Well,
I
I
mean,
I think
we
it's
had,
changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
we had
hope so.
Votech, and those
Yes, yeah.
kids at Votech are probably retired now because they
Yeah.
Or
went
they
and
have
got
2
great
houses
jobs.
off
Yeah,
their AC
exactly.
repair job.
Yeah.
That they,
Exactly. So those are the kinds of things that I think, and this to me, no offense to anyone, please, but this is more blue collar.
no,
Am I wrong?
listen to me. I think you're going
I
to
don't
say
say that because I'm
You're a snob. We get it. but-
I'm not. What do I do for a living? Yeah, no,
I was like, wait, why should I be offended?
I know.
I don't.
I'm offended.
I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I'm going to take a little peek into it. So don't push
you
me
in.
into it. When I was a kid, my dad had a 6th grade education, and he was a self-made man. He owned businesses. He did very well for himself, but he had smarts here,
Right.
And he really did well with what he had. Probably better than most people with a college education. He and my mother pushed me and my sister to go to college, because he said, I don't want you, he dug ditches. He did whatever he had to do to keep
Right.
the family going.
Right.
My sister and I, my mom. So, I went to college, got my degree, and then, when Brandon and Kyle were born, I'm like, I want you guys to do better. You want the next generation to do better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've gotten into this. I'm not blaming anybody, or you can put blame wherever you want to blame. But all I'm saying is, it's just the nature of things, the way they happen. Because at one time, a college. Let me back up. Really meant something. It did. When I got out of college, I could have picked my job anywhere. Maybe not money, but I could have got a
Right.
job because I had that
You
degree.
had a degree.
It's not like that now.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not poo-pooing a college degree. I think it's up to the individual. But now we're at a point to where what happened?
Except
we're at a point to where we gotta look at the other side of it and say, you know what, the blue collar is where you're going to make your money, where the demand is now, and not college.
Plus, it's usually services everybody needs.
Well, I was going to say, and those jobs will always be here.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, they'll always be here. And I didn't mean it like there's something wrong with blue collar. I am blue collar. I have been. There's nothing wrong with it, but I didn't want to offend you because you're, so high and mighty.
Highfalutin?
Yeah, highfalutin.
Yeah.
That was the word I was looking for.
I got you.
Hey,
So-
you've known me for years.
No,
There ain't nothing special about me.
No.
I mean, I'm working above. Below
You're
my
definitely
pay-
above your-
I'm
you're above your pay
my pay grade. There's
Well,
no
but
doubt
I mean,
about
wouldn't
that.
you? I would consider this a trade. Sort of.
To me,
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is.
To me,
Yeah.
you know what? To me, this is. I'm proud that my father's blue collar. I'm proud I came from a blue collar family. If this is a blue collar, I'm fine with it.
Absolutely.
You don't have to have a college degree to
Right.
do my job. You just have to have a little bit of common sense.
Right.
Don't say
Well,
anything, Brandon.
You have to have a work ethic.
And a
too,
work
that's
ethic, and you got to
hard to come
really
by.
really enjoy it. I love this industry. What drawn me to it was these machines. I've always been a little bit mechanical. They fascinated me from day one. And McPherson was if McPherson Meistergram hadn't been such a great place to work, we had a great bunch of. I've said this a
good
billion
old
times.
days.
No, the best job I ever had
Yeah.
was working at
I
McPherson
made
Meistergram.
the least money I've ever made in my life.
Me
and It was
too.
the best job.
But-
I was
but
so
when
poor.
I
It
was
was the
in
best job I ever
in
had.
the marketing department with a bunch of chicks, crazy chicks, and I was the only dude in
You
there.
loved us.
We got along. We had a good time. We worked our butts off. And no, we didn't make that much money, but I never thought about leaving because you know what? I was happy.
I was too.
And
I
I
loved
was
it.
keeping-
we
I
were
was
gone
keeping-
30 weeks a year.
Yeah.
It was great.
I was keeping my family fed.
I wasn't married.
I enjoyed what I was doing. It was fun.
No, it was fun.
And then when the industry started going downhill, with NAFTA, when stuff started going offshore, things slowed down. We had to get rid of people. I didn't know if the industry was going to even stay intact or not. Who knew? I mean, you remember we didn't even have a single head machine.
Yeah.
We had a Prosperity. Well, nobody wants that machine. It's a single head. The guys wouldn't even sell it. It's like, nobody wants a single head. We're selling 12s and 15s. But I tell you, when everything started going offshore, that separated the wheat from the chaff, because the guys that weren't really knew their product, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, they kind of fell by the wayside. The guys that knew the product and knew the company stuck around, and they're still here, and they're starting to retire. So my point to all this is, I just wish there was some way that we could get some younger people in here that would get excited about it. You have to start at the bottom like we did, and that's probably another thing that nobody wants to start there. They want to start here.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's going to come back. I do, because it truly is a rewarding industry, and the people that do you rarely see people that just, I don't want to do this anymore. It's pretty rare.
Yesterday? No, I'm just kidding. No, I think you need to look at, not telling you how to market, not in marketing, but I think you need
Tell her.
to.
Tell me. She's a marketing person.
I think that you really and truly do need to market to a younger generation. I think you need to, be your own boss, be an entrepreneur. I mean, that is what it is, and it can be very rewarding. And look what you can do with your life, and look what you. But I think you have to make it very exciting. It's a different world. Social media has changed everything. Mm-hmm. Technology has changed everything. Mm-hmm. And I sound really old, but it's true though. But I think you need to just make it flashier and more exciting. I'm not saying you're marketing, but I think to get younger people's attention, to draw them away from, I'll just get a history degree and do what? I don't know, maybe teach or whatever. But I think you're just going to have to find a way to draw them in. And I hope that you do, because it's never going to go away. I mean, it's always going to be here. But people like us are going to get too old to do this before too very long. And it will change. Well,
I do think, you have some younger customers. I mean, you've sold to some, and it's. I think it starts with the screen printers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
They are that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they're the most trendiest people, I think.
They are. They really are.
Because it's art.
Well, and then
Where
now
I
you've
missed out.
got your DTG and you've got your sublimation.
Should have screen printed.
Should have. Then you could have taught me.
You don't want to do that mess.
So, you've got your DTG and you've got your sublimation, and that's all really trendy, and all the new things that are coming out of that. And I've bought a sublimation printer and have been following this one company, and they're very young and they're very trendy and they're very exciting, and I'm completely drawn to all their videos and all their webinars and all of that, because they make it fun and they make it exciting, and that I think is what will change everything.
I agree. Yeah, and we've said before too, it's very hard for me to get out of that comfortable, like trying to do a podcast thing, but you kind of have to, or you get left behind.
I have people ask me all the time, do you have a website? Can you order from? I'm like, no, because I simply don't have the capabilities to be able to do that right now. I can't do all of that myself, and I had to draw the line somewhere. I had the business that was existing. I had to focus on that to begin, and truly 5.5 years later, I still haven't found the time, energy, or whatever to. You have to have the customer service. Well, you just have to have people and time to be able to do that, and especially now, Amazon has ruined everyone. You expect everything immediately on demand, and people do not want to wait for a response to an email that they sent about a shirt that they wanted. They're not going to wait. They're going to go. There's 5 billion other people that they'll go buy it from. Yeah. So unless you can respond to somebody immediately, and I can't be everything, So anyway, that's my piece.
No, and Sarah, I'm not a social media guy either. I despise it. I just do.
I just go to look at the dogs.
I just don't care about it. But Sarah,
was that a dog?
Really good job.
The phone.
Oh,
it's a machine.
Oh, it is the phone. Okay.
Yeah, it's Jamie's phone.
Sarah's got us on Instagram, MySpace.
Y'all heard of LinkedIn?
LinkedIn.
Abraham LinkedIn?
She's done a really good job with the social media stuff, which I'm not going to touch that with a 20-foot pole. At number 1, I don't like it. Number 2, I'm too old. I don't even understand how it works.
And number 3, you don't like it.
So, that's it. And
you used to be on Facebook, and now I thought you just unfriended me, and then you just disappeared.
No, he unfriended
everybody.
I know.
I got
including his family.
I'm not going to. I got tired of all the. You know, it was fun for a while when everybody was nice, and then when politics got involved, everybody got ugly, and I'm like, you know, I don't need this in my life.
If everybody was just friendly and happy and talked to you like if they were actually in front of you, it would be fine. But it's not that.
It's not that.
Everybody wants to nitpick or say you're wrong.
Every place ends up turning ugly.
Exactly.
It does.
That's because people are involved.
Yeah.
It does.
That's why.
Even I follow this. I bought a smoker, and I follow their little group of the company.
Okay.
Rec Tech. Shout out to Rec Tech. Best smoker in the world.
Snow. It's not, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
Let me introduce you to the world of Camp Chef.
I will argue.
I'll fight you in the parking lot.
I follow. I'm on
Welcome
one of their
to
sites,
the
and there's
Smoking
always
Me
somebody,
podcast.
some newbie like me, who gets on there, you know, pellet smoke, doesn't know what they're doing, and asks the question that, yes, we've all seen it 1,000 times. What pellets do you use? Of course. And there's always somebody quick to jump on them and
Every time.
you know, make them feel badly
Yeah.
about it. I'm like, can you not just
Just
leave the
answer.
poor guy alone?
Yeah. Just
how about
answer his
scroll
question
past
or
Yeah.
leave him
Be
alone.
helpful or
But
leave.
right, exactly. But it's like that everywhere, and it's like that all
Did you say it was a forum?
Yeah. Well, no, it's a group.
Well, every forum. I used to be, you know, I ride motorcycles, and I used to be on the Harley Davidson forum, and it was. I never participated because I saw what they did to people asking questions.
didn't want to get your feelings hurt.
I don't want to do that.
there.
It's like, look it up in the search function. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Haven't you heard of the search bar?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, why,
Say that in my face, bro.
Why are you so
Why are
mean
you so
to
mean?
those
I'm
people?
terrified to ask any
I mean,
question on there because I don't want.
I know people. It's like
skin.
if they're new, they don't know, and it's
don't
really
know.
nice to
Just be helpful.
be helpful to them and make them have a good experience. But it's like I've heard people say, well, screw you, I'm leaving this thing. And they say, oh, we can't get any new members. Well, you know why? Because you treat them like crap.
Right.
Just be nice to people. It's amazing. You can take the most mild-mannered person and put a keyboard in front of them, and they're the devil. They're Satan. They're Satan. I'm telling you, it's Satan.
It's the devil.
It's crazy. I mean, the people are the way they talk to me. They would not talk to me like that to my face.
No, they wouldn't.
what happened?
Not for long.
They get some hot tongue.
Get some hot tongue in your face. Yeah. What I'll do usually, I'll just look up their IP address and I'll stand outside the driveway. What now? Just kidding. I do have several 50
I'm
Bs
just
in.
kidding.
Huh?
I don't want to get off on this social media tangent. but
Huge mug.
Thank you.
Thought you were giving it to me.
Oh yeah. See,
I bought that for him because he broke the one that
Did
my mom
Kim
bought for him.
ever find out that you broke the other one?
No. I don't. Do not tell. Do
I
not
told
tell
her.
my
She
wife.
doesn't watch the pod, does she?
Rewind.
No.
Re-record.
No. I broke it.
No, but-
getting it out of the microwave. Go ahead. I don't want to talk about my mug. Not this.
Bottom line, people just need to interact with people like you would face to face. Get rid of
absolutely.
this machismo or whatever you want to call it behind the keyboard or whatever. If somebody's got an opinion, not an opinion, a question, don't just answer the question. Like,
Right.
why do you have to say something negative?
Right.
I can't stand it.
What was? I'm trying to think what the.
Well, I like to hear.
response.
No matter what, I like to hear the other side of somebody's opinion on anything, as long as they're respectful in giving it to you. That didn't sound like I did it.
Okay.
No, I mean, if you and I don't agree on the same thing, I want to hear what I want to hear. I want to hear your until it starts name calling or you're telling me. I'm not going to tell you you're stupid for thinking that. I'm not to your face.
Do it on a keyboard.
No, but I want to hear it because maybe I haven't thought of it.
Yeah.
We've lost discourse. This is getting off on a really tough
It's okay.
tangent.
That's okay.
It's okay.
But we've lost discourse. You know, she and I don't agree on everything, but I like to hear, you and I can talk about things because I want to hear what she has to say. And I will respectfully disagree. But that doesn't mean you're an idiot or you're stupid.
Well, it might, but it's okay.
Well,
No, just kidding.
no,
But you know,
no.
I wonder if this isn't part of the something just clicked, and I wonder if this isn't part of the issue too. And COVID did not help because no one could go anywhere.
I've never
No
heard of
one
that.
could-
Is it a disease? Did it come from monkeys that drank Tang?
Yeah, that were running embroidery machines.
I've seen them.
But I think part of the issue you were asking, how do you get more people interested? And part of the thing that I see too is people are so quick to just jump online and not go interact with people face to face, or even just, I don't know. How about call someone? Does anybody
Yeah.
do that anymore? Everyone just text
that's a
or
good point
whatever.
too. Yeah.
And I think that you can't always find all of this information. You can't always find all of this online. You're not going to find it. You need to talk to human beings. You need to actually get out there and see people and make them excited about it. And, I think that younger generation, and me, I'm guilty of it too. So I get down a rabbit hole of some reel of people dancing. I don't know. 2 hours later, my neck hurts because I've been staring at it for too long. But, I think that people have just gotten stuck behind screens and have lost some of the ability to actually communicate.
As great as it is to be able to talk to somebody across the world on your phone or the computer, it is completely deconstructed what it's like to be a person.
Right. Yeah. Personal communication.
Yeah, seriously. I mean,
salespeople used to get on a plane.
We still do.
Thank you.
You do. But, used to get on a plane and go see a customer in California to show them a machine they've never seen before. Mm-hmm. But now you probably talk on the phone and send them videos and show them. No criticism there, but you don't have near as much interaction.
That's true.
It has changed, but I think it's changed for us for the better. And this is where social media has really helped. 5 years ago, 7 years ago, you'd go to a show. I've never heard of Barudan.
Right.
And we're like,
they are more informed.
We're one of the largest embroidery machine manufacturers in the world, and you never heard of us. Now with these forums, like Barudan owners, users, whatever it is, all this stuff.
Barudan Owners Group. Not whatever.
Let's respect it.
I'm sorry.
Shout out
You're in
Ronaldo.
it? I'm not. Oh, you should be in it.
How am I not in that?
It's on Facebook. Do you have
It is
Facebook?
really good. It's very
But
good.
people get online now and ask questions. What's the best machine? And they'll say we need to look at a Barudan and this one or this one. And now we have people who come to the show and say we hear you're the best.
Right.
And that never happened. We used to have to always explain who we were, how long we've been around, and be like, Barudan. I ain't never heard y'all. Yeah, well, we've been around since like 1959.
Yeah.
And
Why do they talk like me?
they don't.
Barudan.
But that part is good because now we have more brand and name recognition than we've ever had. That part I like. The other bad stuff, saying bad things about people, I don't like that part. That part I don't like.
That either.
I just, if I like you, I like you. If I don't like you, I just don't say anything.
Walk away.
Yep.
We've had a couple people ask for information on our machines and ask us to text them like the information or say, why can't I order this online, this $20,000 machine? And I'm like, don't you want to have a conversation about this machine before you?
It's a big deal. It's a big purchase.
It's a big purchase. Like you want that option. It's just, I don't know. We're dealing with a lot of different, I think, generations and
it is a
people.
wide gamut of people.
And at the same point that you're looking at trying to get younger people in it, it's a really great thing for older people to retire to have a small business as well. So
it is.
It needs to cover everybody.
It does.
Let's just get along and be nice people to everybody.
And everybody just
everybody is welcome. Every nice person is welcome.
I'm looking at you,
nice
YouTube.
Let's
just be nice.
Yeah.
Somebody get that phone.
I think everybody should have an embroidery machine. I think every new house should be sold with a new Barudan in it. We should talk
for the prices that houses are selling for. You would think they have a 6-head sitting in the garage. But anywho,
all right, back on track here.
Yeah.
Where was that track?
Yeah, that track is gone.
With your experience getting into business and everything, is there anything you do differently? If you were talking to somebody just getting into it, the advice you're going to give them. But I mean, we all make mistakes. But is there anything, looking back on getting into business, would you have done something differently? Would you have maybe started with more machines? Would you maybe have got a different building?
That's a really tough one, and I tried to think about that.
Just say you've never made any mistakes.
I am perfect. Yeah. I've never made any mistake. No, I would actually. I think that if I would do anything differently, and at the time, you only know what you know at the time, and you can do with what you have at the time, and so that's kind of how it worked out for me. But if I were to start fresh and I could do everything differently, I wouldn't corner myself, and I wouldn't necessarily have cornered myself into a business where my business depends on other people's business.
Yeah.
I would prefer for my business to depend on me and, me getting the business in. But it didn't work out like that. And I'm not complaining about it or wanting to change it necessarily now. But if I were to just, okay, let me just see what can I do? What are my options? That would maybe, I would make things a little more broad, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I do mostly contract work. So my business really does depend on everyone else to give me business.
Right.
And again, I can go find business, sure, but I don't have so much time to do that. And so I would, maybe just sit down and look. If I had started over and I didn't have what I had, then that's what I would focus on is, how do I want to do this and how can I do everything? How can I do more and not just do other people's work?
Yeah.
So
Did you have a business plan when you started, or you just kind of
no, literally just came home. Hey, honey, our company's closing. Not sure when. I just lost my job, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. And my old boss said, "Why don't you buy these machines and start your own again? You've done it before." And I thought, I have, but as it turns out, I couldn't buy those machines. I didn't want to buy those machines, so I bought my own and. Like I said, talked to my customers and they agreed to go with me and here we are. So what was your question?
I don't remember.
He's got problems.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
What
Well,
else we have?
I think we've covered anything you can think of that you want to
Any advice
Go
for?
Barudan.
go back.
Yeah, thank you.
Go Barudan and go home. What is the motto?
Go bigger. Go
This ain't
Barudan.
your grandma's sewing machine. This will blow your grandma's.
Blow your
sewing-
grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma
Out of the
water.
That's actually the
That's-
new
yeah.
I like
2022.
That's going on our literature.
Awesome.
It's not going to be right from the start anymore.
love
it.
It's going to be Barudan. Blow your grandma's sewing machine out of water.
Oh, water. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Well,
It's catchy.
Young generation.
That's
they come up
right.
with it. That's-
Y'all
Well-
ask for it.
I think just don't be afraid to go for it. Take a risk and do it. I mean,
And that's the thing about it. Most people don't get into business because they don't
they're
want risk.
afraid. I mean, it's terrifying. Trust me, it's terrifying. Oh, how, what's coming in this week? And again,
Yeah.
because I'm waiting for everybody else's work to come in, it's like, oh no, what's coming in next week? But that's when you just, I don't know, you got to have gumption. You got to get out there and say, okay, hey, so-and-so, you need some hats. What can I do for you? And it's funny how, my husband talks to everyone. Oh, well, my wife has embroidery business, blah, 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 and everyone immediately, and this is the thing you guys need to work on changing this. Everyone thinks, oh, she does towels.
Oh, yeah.
No. Well,
Well-
yes, but no. And no, I don't want your towels.
I have said before, I will not use anything but a monogram towel with my name on it.
See, that's funny. I
So-
have nothing monogrammed in my house.
I don't
and
either. I'm
everyone
just joking.
says everything in your house must be monogrammed. Like, you
My
kidding
shirt don't
me?
even-
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, those too. I didn't know I put this on.
No, nothing.
You
I'm
don't
so
dress
plain.
yourself. You know that.
I don't. Yeah. The
You don't
the
wanna do
nursing
it.
home put this one on me.
You don't want to do it for yourself. When you've
Mr.
been doing
Stone?
it all day long, the last thing in the world you want
No.
to do is for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
true.
just thinking about
it's
every
a
shirt in my
hassle.
closet. Most of my shirts are screen printed and not monogrammed because I wear T-shirts all the time.
Yeah.
But
But
or,
I wear a hat
I
every
do
day
too.
of my
I'm a
life.
big hat.
That's
Well,
embroidered. That's not embroidered.
It's
This
screen
is,
printed.
and this is
That's embroidered.
beautifully made. Anyway,
So,
yeah.
you've heard enough from me.
No.
No, I think this has been really good.
Yeah.
It's-
It has been good.
I really appreciate you coming in here because to get your perspective on things. I mean, and you kind of cemented the things that we tell customers. I mean, I can hear you talk sounds just like me. I mean, I use the same stuff when I'm talking to customers, but I had a business too, so I'm coming at it from that viewpoint too. You never know until you've been in it. Brandon threaded needles and pulled a squeegee, and he, that's why he was a good fit. I thought for this
I
territory.
pulled a
thought.
squeegee in the parking lot trying to get out of my truck today.
So if you've done it, you've been on that side to where you're embroidering stuff and you're dealing with customers and you're trying to make ends meet when you don't know if you're gonna have enough work coming in the door. It makes a big difference, I think. 'Cause you can tell customers, well, this is how I did it. And may not have been right, but Kim and I had a very successful business. It got to the point where one of us was going to have to quit. And I wasn't going to quit this. I mean, I love this.
That's the thing is you get to, that's where when I had my business the first time,
Yeah.
I was literally at the point of I either need to, and
It's going to be this or this.
Yeah, it was in my house. And I either needed to go find a space, rent a space, expand,
Yep.
hire someone. Well, I had help at the time too. Or quit and go find a job because I just couldn't handle it anymore. And at the time, anyway, I ended up getting bought out and it worked out great. But you just have to be very creative and, have savings because you might need them. But, you have to just be creative and not be afraid to just go for it. And
Yeah. That's good. That's good advice.
And have a Barudan machine to do
and
it
have
with.
a Barudan machine.
Number
Or
one.
5,
Amen.
or
Number
10.
one, have a Barudan machine.
15.
Number two, go for it.
Number,
Yep.
3,
Number 3,
have another Barudan machine.
one more Barudan, one more Barudan, one more Barudan, one more Barudan, and blow your grandma out of the water. That's the way we do it here.
See you, Granny. All right. Anything? Well, you don't have a website to plug, so dog
so
collars. Get your
terrible.
dog collars.
Yeah. Go to hotdogcollars.com. No,
Hot
support your
dog
local business.
collars.
Yep.
Support
Okay.
all your local business.
Yes, do
By
support
Christmas,
them when you
Yeah,
can.
especially for the holidays. There are a
Absolutely.
lot of people that could really use that.
Oh, for sure. So one more thing, we were at we were in Ocean Isle Beach last weekend, and they had the Oyster Fest. Care for oysters, but anyway, they had a lot of vendors, and I wasn't planning on buying Christmas presents, but I started walking around and I thought, well, who wants Amazon? I'm going to order. I'm going to buy. I spent a lot of money on a lot of beautiful, crafts and artisan things, and supported a lot of local businesses. And I've decided that's exactly how I'm doing Christmas this year.
That's perfect.
It was great. It was great, and I've knocked out half my list. So
I'm getting my dogs 3 new dog collars for Christmas.
let me know.
Oh, I will. All right. Show next week. Show this week. Show when this comes out.
Yep.
You can actually, if you come to Charlotte, you may see. Well, you'll definitely see
All
us.
of us,
You may
yeah.
see her.
Yeah.
We may get you behind the microphone again. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll be.
We may let you run one of them there
Oh, yay.
brand new fancy looking.
Oh,
embroidery
I would
machines
love to,
behind
because
us
mine
there.
are a lot older.
Oh yeah, that'd be
But you
cool.
know what? If you were to run one of these machines and get that new machine smell on your
I'd
fingers
have to
and
buy
go
some
back,
more. I know.
yeah, I need to come in there and pour honey all over your needle bars.
Okay.
What does that do?
I don't know.
Now
This
he's
has
making
been-
me nervous.
Kill
With
them,
my
kill
tang
them,
and
kill
honey on
them,
my needles.
kill them Barudan machines and get you some new ones.
Does honey affect them in an
I don't
adverse
know.
way?
It's a sticky substance.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it may make them run back. She may use that to
I don't
grease it.
know.
Who knows? Or oil.
It'll give Jimmy a lot of business, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll keep Jimmy working.
Yeah.
All right, so come see us at the show, booth number 100, because why not? 100.
Yeah.
We keep it 100.
Yeah. Like the kids like to say.
Like the kids on TikTok say.
Are you a TikToker? No. You're not you should. Are you a TikToker?
Mm-hmm.
Are you? I'm not. I don't even know what that is. I thought it was a big watch. I had
Look
no
at my
idea.
TikTok, y'all.
I saw them. Their youngsters on there doing them dances, and I'm like, well, that's kind of weird.
It's another platform.
Get it.
All it is.
That's for the next podcast. That was the one that we do on the dark web, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're having a TikTok star in here.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that we need to promote?
No, thanks again,
Show.
Vic.
Yes,
Like,
thank
you're
you
in my
very
top
much.
one- you're in my
Appreciate it.
top 100 people
Sweet.
of all the people, and you're above a few of my family members.
Back at you.
A few of my family members. Well, I won't name them, but you're ahead.
There's one here. There's
Yeah.
a family member right
There's a
here.
strange lean my way. Okay, that's
I'm
fine.
just saying.
I'll retreat to my cubicle. All right. Well,
Thank y'all. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah. You'll you have a welcome invitation here anytime to the podcast.
You
and
do.
It's not that scary.
No,
right?
it's
You
not.
were worried about all
No,
these cameras
I
and all
think
these.
I will
really
bring my
nervous.
own
Yeah,
ears next time.
Yeah, anybody watching? She didn't just get off the spacecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we had. Yeah. So go like, subscribe, comment. Make sure you come see us in Charlotte. I feel like I had something else to say.
Goodbye.
You can email us. At,
Yes,
Yeah.
that's I can't remember those things. That's why you're here to help me.
Tell us
What is it? Barudan Stitch Files.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at Gmail.
Instagram.
PH.
We do Instagram.
Yes, with
Yes.
PH. Yeah, Instagram, Barudan
Okay.
America,
Yeah.
Facebook, LinkedIn. Find
All
us.
those things. That's
Yeah.
right. All right.
We're out there.
We are. We're out there on the web. So see you guys next time. And give your pig a
Oh my God.